Hi everyone, my name is Diana, and the concept of a sick role was defined through a combination of my parents, my culture, and my school system. At school, we were constantly reminded about the importance of attendance, and the fact that scared me the most was when they would tell us that a student who is absent once or twice often performs lower on standardized tests compared to those who had um, good attendance. And because my parents always made sure that I have good grades, I didn't want to disappoint them by receiving the low test scores, so I always made sure to be at school and on time. Also, aside from the fact that I rarely got sick, so I couldn't really use that as an excuse to not go to school even if I wanted to. My school also provided incentives for those who had great attendance. Of course, this was only in elementary school, but every month we would have longer recesses, and at the end of the school year, there would be a school-wide assembly, and those with perfect attendance would receive a trophy, and that was a great motivation for me to go to school every day because I wanted to win a trophy every year. But I believe that my culture has been what has influenced most of my beliefs about the sick role, and that is because for us, for both men and women, we often don't express our pain as much or as often, and that is because there's really no point. We still have to go through our daily activities such as going to school, going to work, um, doing household chores. So there is really no point expressing our pain, especially for men, because in doing so, it's a sign of weakness for them and it can hurt their dignity. So it is more socially acceptable for women to express their pain, although oftentimes they also do hide it. As for me, whenever I feel sick, I don't get any special treatment, and um, also because I am getting older. But even when I was younger, I would I would still be told to go to school unless it was a major illness, and I often turn to more traditional natural cures medicine, rather than westernized medicine. And that is again because of how I was raised, that I'm more inclined to go to more traditional forms of cures rather than biomedicine. Although I do think that this part of my culture does bring negative consequences because on both my parents' side, on both my mother's and father's side, my grandparents learned to suppress their emotions, their feelings, their symptoms throughout their whole life. So as they got older, they did not express the pain that they were going through, and it unfortunately developed to severe illnesses that were not irreversible and ultimately caused their deaths. Fortunately though, for my parents, they are not that conservative or traditional, and when there is a necessity to go to the doctor, to go to the hospital, we do that. But there are negative aspects to that part of my culture of suppressing feelings, of suppressing pain, because it can lead to, great health consequences. The foundation of my sick career is mainly composed of secondary gains, and that is defined in the textbook by gains of exemption from responsibility, including work and special consideration from others. The sick role may relieve individuals from ordinary responsibilities and provide an excuse for personal failure and not meeting social expectations. The sick role can alleviate blame for personal shortcomings, placing responsibility on the malady. And I feel like I can relate to this because not too long ago I was sick and I did not receive satisfactory grades on a couple of my tests, and I blamed that on my sickness, on my allergies that I had. And it was provided a reasonable excuse to me for my personal failures and not meeting my expectations. Um, although I still hold true, although I still hold true to that, um, this is why I believe that I can. This is the aspect of the sickness career that I can relate to the most. And yeah, overall, I do think that my parents and my upbringing, which my culture my and the school system has overall affected my views on the sick role.